Shout out the Rockets. Not many people thought they were even going to make the playoffs before the season, let alone a top 2 seed in the Western Conference. And even more impressive, there are only 6 teams that have 20 wins or more versus above 500 competition this season. The Thunder, Celtics, Cavaliers, of course. Then you got the Lakers, Warriors, and lastly, the forgotten team, the Houston Rockets, 21-16 to be exact. They've been beating the best teams in the NBA all season, yet nobody gives them respect outside of Houston. Nobody truly believes that they can get to the Western Conference Finals, and this past week, they are once again proving they belong in the convo. It started with a loss in crunch time versus the Lakers, but that game could have gone either way. And honestly, after seeing that game, if they were to match up, I feel like it would be a 6 or 7 game series. Then after that, they bounced back, beating the Thunder with ease, and then they beat the red hot Warriors convincingly. And at this point, I don't know what the Rockets can do to get better discourse. I don't think they deserve the type of discourse they've been getting. I honestly think they've proven enough this season to stand in the tier with the Lakers, Warriors, Nuggets, and the Clippers, aka teams that fans believe have a chance to do something, but they aren't favorites to win the West. It feels like if you say any of those 3 teams, they could potentially get to the Western Conference Finals, people will be like, okay. But if I say the Rockets are getting to the Western Conference Finals, I feel like you get a side eye, even a giggle every now and again. And the reasons fans don't believe in the Rockets is very simple when you break it down like this. As a team, they are built in a very similar way to the OKC Thunder. And the funny thing about that is they are the favorites to win the Western Conference. I mean, think about it. Tenacious, athletic defenders everywhere. Amen Thompson, Defensive Player of the Year candidate in my eyes, just like Lou Dort. Both teams play the same style, very physical, consistently bullying other teams on a night-to-night basis. They both rely on their elite defense, but the main difference is one has Shea running the show, while the Rockets don't really have a true set number 1. It's Jalen Green at times, it's Şengün at times, sometimes it's neither. But overall, no one has fully taken that reign, and fans who don't pay attention will see proven stars like Jokic, LeBron, Shea, Luka, and instantly will take that over Houston because they don't have a big name, and also their big names are very unproven. But I feel like the Rockets' flaws are taken way more serious and brought up way more consistently than the other team's flaws, so much so that everyone just writes them off and ignores their major strengths simply because they lack the big name. And that's kind of unfair considering other teams are flawed as well. We can play that game with any team. The Lakers' defense is just as concerning. We've seen them be dominant on that end of the floor, don't get it twisted, but some nights they can't stop anyone with the Luka and Austin Reeves backcourt. Also, Luka has been very, very inconsistent for his standards since joining the team. Then we go to the Los Angeles Clippers, who are very impressive, and honestly, lately, I might have them at number 2 in the Western Conference in my power rankings. That's how much I believe in them. But also, do I really believe in Kawhi staying healthy for the whole playoffs? And James Harden maintaining his level of play in a long playoff series versus elite defenses? Not really. And then there is Denver. My goodness, Jokic has quit in terms of playing defense. Jamal Murray isn't healthy. The vibes don't feel great. My point is, the Rockets have been getting nitpicked all year, yet other teams just get their flaws overlooked. Like, it shouldn't be a laughable statement that you think the Rockets are going to be in the Western Conference Finals. And don't get it twisted. Doubting them because of their offense is completely fair because at times they make me want to rip my hair out. And it's one of the reasons I'm truly afraid to believe in them advancing more than one round. And I wouldn't even be shocked if they get a bad matchup and lost in round 1 because of this flaw. As a team, they are ranked 23rd in three-point percentage. It's been up and down on that end all year round. In October, the first month of the season, they were ranked 9th in offensive rating. Then in November, all the way down to 21st. Then December, they improved back up to 13th. January, they got back in the top 10, 8th in offensive rating to be exact. And then February was a mess, ranked 24th in offensive rating. And then last month in March, they got back on track, ranked 8th in offensive rating. So as you can tell, very inconsistent on that end of the floor. But one thing I will say is they always give themselves a chance. No matter what's going on, they have played in 44 clutch games. That's the second most in the NBA, only behind the Minnesota Timberwolves. And that tells me they can win and keep games close even if they don't have their best stuff. They have a 59.1 win percentage in those games. Only 2 teams are better in clutch games. The Thunder, of course, 65.2 win percentage. Then the Lakers, barely, and I mean barely, 60.5 win percentage. But every other Western Conference team is below the Houston Rockets. So this idea that the Rockets will feel uncomfortable and you can't trust them in close playoff games doesn't feel like a fair narrative, considering pretty much every single game they play in is neck and neck and it's going down to the wire and it's just very close all game long. And also, they may not have that guy on the offensive end of the floor every night, but they have that guy on defense every single night. Amen Thompson, via Stat Mamba, is holding all-star guards to 40.7% from the field and 25.6% from three. If he can stay out of foul trouble, he's going to make life miserable for opposing stars on a night-to-night basis. And simply put, not every Western Conference team has a defender like him. This team also dominates the rebounding game pretty much every single night. They lead the league in rebounding percentage. Guess what? Last year, for the playoffs, which teams led in rebounding percentage? Number 1 was the Minnesota Timberwolves. Guess what? They made the Western Conference Finals. And oh, by the way, they pretty much had the same question marks offensively. The Boston Celtics were right behind them, and they were the champions. And then in 2023, guess who led the playoffs in rebounding percentage? The Denver Nuggets, the champions. My point is, it's really easy to focus on what the Rockets don't have. It just feels silly at this point, considering everyone outside of OKC has showcased major flaws throughout the season. And in my opinion, even OKC ain't this pitch-perfect team. The Western Conference is very, very deep, but they're not deep with powerhouse teams. I feel like each and every team in the Western Conference has a matchup out there that they don't want to see in the playoffs. And that matchup could very well be the Houston Rockets. Let me know your thoughts below in the comments section.